Amar Rava. Machai vinche levusume b'pori lo yada ben or hamon levorach Mordechai. So this is Rava statement. Now we have this word levusume. So we have it just above as well. Rashi Abaye says that you always have room for something levisuma. So up here, levisuma means to be sweet. Revcha space levisuma shchiach. There's always space for something sweet. So here we have the same word, levisumi, as levisuma. See, it's the same.
Mm-hmm.
So Rashi over here, levisumi lishtaker bayayin. It says to get drunk on wine because really levisuma just means to become sweet. Now we have a story straight after this. Here, Haman levorach Mordechai. So Rabba, that's Rabba for Rabbi Zeira. Avdu Suda Purim behadadi dadi. They had their Seudas Purim together. Ivasum, they got drunk. Now you see Rashi here nishtakru. Chayra, one of the things that Rashi's doing here is saying that they both got drunk. It's an important point for later. The Ivsum, again, it wasn't that they became sweet, but they got drunk. Now here, Rashi says, Lishkar Bayayin, here he just says that they got drunk. He didn't say they got drunk on wine. But again, this Bayayin is one of the makors that if you're drinking on Purim, to dafka drink on wine, but we'll see. Maybe we'll see a bit more of that later as well. Kam Rabba shachted Rebbe Zeira. Rabba got up and shachted Rebbe Zeira. This is strange language because why doesn't it just say shachte Rabba le Rebbe Zeira? Seems to be a level of kam that Rabba got up and then there's some type of shachting going on. Now lamachar boy rachme. So the next day, then Rabba he asked for rachamim, and then Rebbe Zeira came back to life. Now here we have that Rabba had to ask for rachamim in order for it to work. Boy rachamim, then boy rachamim. So even if he's bringing someone back to life, it's not necessarily that he has the ability to bring him back to life, but he needs God to agree with him. L'shana, the next year, Amar Lei, he says, Rabba says back to Rebbe Zeira, Neti Mar v'na'avid Suda Purim b'hadidadi. So come on, let's do it again this year. Amar Lei, lo b'chol. So Rebbe Zeira says back to him, lo b'chol, shaisa v'shaisa, matri nisa. Not every year is there a miracle. So he declined the invitation. So then the next sugi is Amar Rabba Suda Purim. So this is the end of the story, and really it's going from Rava's din of that you have to get drunk on Purim to the story of Rebbe Zeira and Rabba. So this is obviously a strange story from Rabba and Rebbe Zeira. So let's see about it. So if I can share something else.
It has a lot in common with the story of Rabbi Yochanan and Rabbi Kahana, right? Where there's also this element of like rachamim and lowering himself, and then also the end is also similar, right? Where it's
Lowering
also
himself, yeah, because everyone's dead. It's always a good story when people die.
not everyone, just Rav
So
Kahana.
this is the Rebbe's take on the story. Isa Gemara Amar Rabba Machai Vinish Levesume. So there he says that the Hashiger Bayayin, because Lebesume doesn't mean Lebesume means to become sweet. So everyone has to say, oh yeah, it means to get drunk. Puri at the Loyada Ben Arahaman Leborach Mordechai. And then after it says Rabba Rebbe Zeira Abed Seudas Purim together. They got drunk. Rabba got up, shechted Rebbe Zeira. The next day they asked for Rachamim, Shana the next year. So this is the story in which we did. So he says L'chayra, this story, according to the Shas, needs explanation, because how Afil Lomer Rabba Nechshel Be'inyan Shel Sheichas Domim. So how can Rabba be over in Shechtin Rebbe Zeira, which is Shvichas Domim? What Rabba is just a murderer now? What the hell's going on here? He says in the brackets, even the Avizraihu. So Avizraihu was like the accoutrements or the relationship to. So something that's you'll have, let's say, candles in a house of Avodah Zarah would be the Avizraihu of Avodah Zarah. It's not actually Avodah Zarah, but giving money to a Avodah Zarah house would be a linkage to the Avodah Zarah itself. So here you have even a linkage to a linkage of Shvichas Damim. It would be shaking an old woman's hand would be a Avizraihu of Gili Urias. So there's a Maklokas there. So in the Marsha, he explains that there wasn't a proper Misa. Rabbi Zeira didn't really die. But it was Ka'ain Shechta. It was like he shechted him. Because of the amount of wine, so the Marsha says that he forced him to drink too much. Rabba forced Rabbi Zeira to drink too much wine. Some of everyone's had this Purim experience where their host is forcing them on the wine. He got so drunk that he was going to die. And then, similar to this, there's also an explanation in the Yavitz that he didn't shecht him mamish. It was achizas hanayim. It looked like he was shechting him. He didn't actually shecht him. It's like that guy who makes the Statue of Liberty disappear. He didn't actually make it disappear. It just looks like he made him disappear. So people who saw it would think that he actually shechted him by emes, but Rabbi Zeira, he was nefal mehem levash chadar nefal merov daga. So he was affected by them, and with a trembling, and he was he fainted from all the worry. So it was only like a trick for the eye, but it wasn't a true thing. But if you look in the story, that it says in the story that the next day he asked for rachamim and he brought him back to life. Achai davka. It's not understood how it could be that the Hanag of Rabba, because it was hezek a davar. Whatever Rabba did, he created a bad in Rabbi Zeira's health, that he was nearly dying. Even again, according to the Marsha, he gave him too much to drink. He was about to die. He was so drunk. That's also the Torah. Lachbol b'chavero ba'eza oifen shehu b'pras. So that any type of chabura to damage your friend is also. So what's Rabba doing? In the Chasam Sofer, he connects this to the Shachta Rabba Lezera in the words of the Gemara. Hi man dema amadim yegaver ashid dema shafcha maraba anim ma'adim. So in Shabbos it discusses various points of if you're born on a Monday, then you've got these natiyas. If you're born on a Tuesday, born on a Wednesday, etc., etc. And then it goes on if you're what kind of star sign or planet you're born under. And ma'adim seems to be Mars. And it says that somebody who's born under Mars then is like red, and he'll be either a sheichet or a doctor, so he'll be taking blood. And Rabbah says, I was born in this area. So seemingly there, that Rabbah is this blood man. Now the pashas in the Gemara l'chayr is that he's saying that he doesn't do blood things, even though he was born in that. But the Chasam Sofer here is saying that just like he was born in the Ma'adim, and therefore he has blood, so therefore he's shechtin Rabbi Zeira. Aval Ra HaYoves, but see what the Yoves says. But the Dam, and that if he doesn't shecht Rabbah, even if he's in B'madim, you can't say that there's the actual Shvichas Damim, Chas V'Chalila, as it says in the Rambam, that is the man is Noile B'Tevet, because the Rambam is just saying anybody who is born in Madim, he has that certain, it's his nature to do that. However, you have free choice as to whether you're going to kill somebody or not. And you can't just say, well, that's just how I was born. I was born with these parents. I was born in this place. I'm from Texas, so therefore I'm just going to, kill everybody. That's the whole point. Is you have to work on yourself. That anyone who has this netiya also has the koyach, the ability to overpower this netiya, and therefore, and for sure, Rabbah had those powers as well. And then even more of a wonderment in the continuation of the story, it is explained that in the next year he said to him, "Come and let's do the Seudah Purim together." And so it's not that the Rabba didn't do teshuva on this Maisa. Rabba, at no point you say Rabba was did charata. He didn't care about the Maisa. That's no problem whatsoever. Odzot shelashana haba shuv his min Rabbi Zeira lachgog. So that even so, as not only had teshuva, it was so good last year. Let's redo it again for this year, and let's have a Seudas Purim again. So zos v'od, that the Rebbe Zeira didn't answer him to be for this. So why did he not say, "Yeah, I'm going to come"? It was only because not every time there's going to be a nace. Not every time there's going to be the miracle. Hayinu shebe'etzem, for sure. I am prepared to go to your Seudas Purim again with Rabba, but it's possible that Rabba will. Even though it's possible that Rabba will do exactly what he did last year, Rebbe Zeira is ready to go. The only reason he didn't go is that maybe there won't be a miracle. So therefore, it's not that Rabba did anything wrong in that time, and the reason that he didn't agree is only because he doesn't have the is not sure that God is going to do this. Okay, so there's questions on the story. So this story doesn't make so much sense. So v'hine etzinu biur, and we have explanations that the drush and the yisod, that the story of that they got drunk and Rabba got to Rebbe Zeira is meramis linen rochni. So you can see in the so like the Zohar and the Ben Ish Chai explains the story as a rochni story. When and according to that, even if you say that it's just a mashal, like we see in the Mesumei Nevoda of Rabba Bar Bachana. So Rabba Bar Bachana is a story in Bava Basra, where he goes to the Midbar and he's shown the people, the Jews that died in the Midbar, and it says there that they are they're like drunkards on their back. And Tosfos says there that we see there that the Meisei Midbar have a chilik in Olam Haba. So seemingly Tosfos is connecting up, getting drunk, and Olam Haba. That there's this idea of eating and drinking that's connected to Olam Haba. This idea, again, it's a Ruchni idea that just like you get pleasure in this world of eating and drinking and having a Seudah, so therefore too you'll have it there. But there, that the people from the Midbar were drunk, that was just a marshal, because it's only a marshal over there. But you can't explain that in our case, because Rabba and Rebbe Zeira is just a marshal. We can't say that it's just a remez, because this story is brought later on for the Psak Halacha in the Gemara. So that Mechayev inish libesume b'puriyad de lo yada. So that's Rabba's story. So then that's Rabba's halacha, and then we see that it's a continuation that Rabba and Rebbe Zeira, they did this chiyuv libesume ad de lo yada b'pol mamish. So they got drunk. Mechayev shemedubar b'einin shel halacha. It has to be. It can't be a moshel. It has to be an actual story. Therefore, the story has to be k'pshuto, and it's not in the Ruchnius ha-inyonim. It's not just the mashal. It's also explained in the words of the Ran and the Balamor that they bring that it says that Harav Ephraim says that if because of the story that Rabba got up and shechted Rebbe Zeira, therefore we push off the memory of Rabba, and the halach is not like Rabba. So this is a halachic idea that because of the story of Rabba and Rebbe Zeira is brought down in the Poiskim. So therefore, that the whole din of Rabba that you have to get at the lo yada is not. We don't hold of that. But lav shapir dami lemav hagnish. You shouldn't do this. It's not a good thing to do. And it's proven from here that the das is a pashtus of the story. Then it's not a mashal, and that the hezek was caused, whether it's Misa, the Rebbe Zeira, so that this hezek, the Rebbe Zeira properly died. So it's psak and it's pashut. Because without this, there's no place to say that because you're going to be, if it's just a marshal, then you're not going to bottle the halacha of Rava because of a marshal. And therefore, Gimel, it seems to say that this story is k'pshuto, and that when you comes out the matzav of ivusum, that because Rabba got drunk, then the mitzvah k'pshuto of Rabbi Zeira died. Mikomokom, this Misa was in a way that there is no sorach afilu shvichas daman. There's no touch. There's nothing to do with shvichas daman in it at all. Or b'chal eza inyan bilti rutzoi. There was nothing that Rabba did that was not so nice. Even though Shagam, even the next year, it was so. There was nothing about what Rabba did that was incorrect. So to all the point that the next year they wanted to do it again. You can see from this, with a introduction, to explain the inyan of Misa of Nadav and Avihu. So to explain Rabba's and Rabbi Zira's story, if we go with the story of Nadav and Avihu, so then we can explain and understand this better. That they died because they drank wine and they went into the Mikdash. That the mita that they had was connected to the drinking of too much wine. So we see in the story of Nadav and Avihu that straight afterwards it says that a Kohen shouldn't drink wine. So Chazal say that they drank wine and then they died. And that was there. So there's various points of what the Isser of Nadav and Avihu were, but one of them was that they drank wine, and that's the pashtus in the Psukim, because it comes out the Isser of drinking wine and serving from the story of Nadav and Avihu. So this is the question. It says in the course of that that Moshe said to Aaron, "This is what God said, that in my closest ones I will be made holy." And Rashi says, "Now you will see." Now I see that they, referring to Nadav and Avihu, were greater than me and you. And how is it possible? So therefore, Nadav and Avihu were greater than Moshe and Aaron. Therefore, how is it possible that you'll have anything? So we're saying that Nadav and Avihu drank wine and they went into the Mikdash. Yet Moshe is saying that Nadav and Avihu were greater than Moshe and Aaron. So therefore, how could it be that anything that Nadav and Avihu did could have been against the will of Hashem? It wasn't such a nice thing to do. But prat until that they get drunk and that they enter into the Mikdash, that they're drunkards. That therefore, if this was the pshat of what Nadav and Avihu were up to, so then they wouldn't be greater than Moshe and Aaron. And it's explained in this, and what it says in the Orach Chaim HaKodesh, that Nadav and Avihu died because of their desire to be close to HaKodesh Baruch Hu. That they didn't stop themselves from coming close to the Devekus, and the sweetness of the hands and the chavivas, that they wanted to kiss the sweetness until their nefesh was taken from them. So that they wanted to get, basically the world here was too dark, and they just wanted the light, and they wanted to escape this world and go into God and have this experience with God. When they came close, so they got to God and they died. That the sivus of the mita was how close they were to God. They were close to God, and therefore that they. So at the end of the Tanya, it speaks about the idea of roitzoi v'shov, and roitzoi is a idea where you have this strong desire for holiness and strong desire for God, and you're ready to. You're done with this world and you're running towards God. So you have this roitzoi, which is your run towards God. And then shoiv is where God doesn't want you to die. God wants you to be here, and God wants you to be in this physical world. So God wants you to come back and do mitzvahs. Then you start doing mitzvahs, and as you're doing the mitzvahs, therefore you get this great desire for God from doing the mitzvahs. And then you want to just be close to God and just be bottled in God completely. And then God says no, so stay. But I want you to do mitzvahs. So you have this push and this back at all times, and you see it with like your heartbeat is a contraction and then a release, and you see it by the waves on the shore that it comes and goes. Everything in the world has this kind of pulsating beat, and the sin, so to say, of Nadav and Avihu was that they wanted the rotzoi, but they didn't want the shoiv. That they just wanted to have the closest to God without fulfilling the rotzon of Hashem, which was that I want you in your guf, and I want you to do a mitzvah. This is what I want. But they wanted to be close to God. So therefore, the whole action of drinking the wine and going into the drinking the wine is to do with being close to God. And this again, kalos nefesh. Kalos nefesh is that you're ready to expire. I'm done with this physical world. I just want to go to God now. And that's also the explanation of Shito Yain Nechnas Lemikdash, that the Kavana, that the Yain is the Seudas and the Panimi HaTorah. So what is Yain? Yain is the Seud and the Panimi HaTorah. They call the Yaina Shel Torah, is the inside of the Torah, the Seud of the Torah. So Kabbalah would be an idea of the Yain Shel Torah, but Yain again is the gematria of Seud. So you have that the Yain is the idea of the deeper and the Panimi ideas of the Torah, as it says, Nechmas Yain Yotzeh HaSeud. So that where are you going to find the Seud when you're delving into the Yain, which is the Panimi of Torah? That just like the Yain, the Gashmi, is revealed, what's hidden in the lave of the man. So when you get drunk, you start telling people stuff. I had a friend, he wanted to join one of the spy agencies, and then you could torture him, he wouldn't say anything, but if you give him a drink, he'll just spill. He'll just say all his secrets he's been keeping, he just tells over. But you could torture him when he's sober, he won't tell anything. But so you have this idea of revelation that Yain brings to revelation, and because that's in the Ruchnius, that the Yain of Torah is the revelation of the side of the Torah. So this idea of the Yain of the Torah, again, is you have to have the Giloi of the side. The side is not revealed, but the Yain reveals it. And the drinking of the one, drunk on wine, is teaching of the Godel and the revelation of the Panimis of Torah. So when are you drunk on wine? Because the revelation of what's hidden in the Torah is so great. Until the matzav of Kalos Nefesh, that you've revealed it to such an extent that you're done with this physical world and you just want to go to Shemaim and it's just you and God, or just God, depending on your bittul. So it says here in the brackets that the yayin causes a bittul of the chush, that you lose your senses. So therefore, the revelation of the giloi and the shtuka, it has the bittul of the shus at kalas nefesh. So if you're madly in love with some woman, so therefore your senses, you just kind of go crazy. It's called meshuga about a woman. So when you drink the physical wine, so your senses go numb, just like when you're drinking the wine of the Torah, that your chushim go and you don't want to be in the physical world anymore. And therefore, after the Moira of the warning of the Torah, so after what happened to Nav Navihu, it says wine and beer don't drink, because it's also to drink wine the way of getting drunk. Because in this, it is the remez that the drinking of the wine in the Torah is the side of the remez of and the raz and the secrets of the Torah. It needs to be that you won't come to the matzav of drunk and kalas nefesh. That since God doesn't want you to die, He wants you to live. Therefore, having this kalos nefesh and the idea of I just want to evaporate into the fire of God and evaporate into God Himself. God doesn't want that. So therefore, don't get drunk on the Torah to a point in which the drunkenness will lead you to a place of kalos nefesh, in which you don't want to be in the physical world anymore. The sarkliyot has to be in the oifen of nechnas b'shalom v'yotze b'shalom. So this is the idea. It's in Chagiga and it's brought down in the Rambam when he talks about entering the pardes. The pardes, again in the mashal, is the idea of the four levels of the Torah, and that Rabbi Akiva went in b'shalom and he came out b'shalom. Because as we know, the pirush in this is that the entrance into the pardes needs to be with shalom, in a way that with this it will for sure be that the yitzia in shalom, that your neshama is in your guf. So what is your yitzia b'shalom? So just like in the pardes, well, someone died, what did that mean? That his neshama left his guf. He went into like an Nadav and Abihu idea. He got so into the yayin of Torah that he didn't make it out. So therefore, you should only go into the pardes if you are shalem, and only through that you will be coming out with your neshama in your guf. So again, this is one of the ideas about why people don't want to learn Kabbalah or don't teach Kabbalah, or why Chabad is bad, because all of a sudden you've got all these Amarotzim who are learning all these Kabbalah ideas, and then they get the Jesus syndrome, and then they become all spiritual and lose their gufnius. Now there's a halacha in the Rambam, and he says that you shouldn't go tayel. He says tayel, which is to like wander around and enjoy yourself in the pardes until you filled your belly with meat. Ein roy l'tel pardes elamisha mit male kirsu lechem ubasar. That only if he fills his belly with bread and meat. And the lechem and basar is to know the isser and mutter and how the mitzvahs work. So, the Bekitzer, the idea is that you should, Tayel doesn't say you shouldn't learn Kabbalah or Pardes. He says you shouldn't Tayel in it. That should be your main business, or spend your time in those type of ideas. That's only if you filled your belly with meat and bread, which is the revealed Torah. So when you know Poiskim and Shas, I mean, this is one of the things that Hillel, the Sephardi Hillel says, the Kabbalah Hillel man says that if you want to know any Kabbalah, so therefore learn Shas. So the Shas is, again, this is the idea of the Rambam, that you should fill your belly with bread and meat, and so then you don't get drunk, and therefore you'll come out with your so that the revealed Torah really gives you a base to understand the panimi of the Torah, and therefore before you really get involved in the panimi of the Torah, therefore you should be having this with your that the basis of understanding the panimi of the Torah is the revealed Torah. And also here, if you are going to drink 2 bottles of wine on an empty stomach, you'll be far drunk and far more lo ritzoy, and not such a good place if than if you filled your belly. So if you want to get drunk on physical wine, you should also fill your belly with basar and lechem. So we see, and why is that? It's because this physical world is a hishtalshalos of the spiritual world, and therefore the wine is the physical hishtalshalos of the panim of the Torah, and therefore filling your belly, you have again the basar, you got the heter and the isser, and that's what the so hini pashut shabir zeh, with getting drunk on wine that you enter into the mikdash. It doesn't come to be the oitzia inyan v'kara midei pshuta. We're not saying that the pashut didn't happen, because it's clear in the pasuk that after that the Torah says wine and beer don't drink. So therefore in Nadav Avihu we're drinking physical wine as well. So that the isser to drink the wine, the derech shechrus kapshuto, don't get drunk on wine kapshuto. If so, you have to say that even according to Nadav Avihu that they drank physical wine, and say that the explanation of the matter by Nadav Avihu is that the drinking of the wine kapshuta is connected to the wine of the Torah, which is the remez of the Torah. As it says in the Shalah, that's what we see by the holy people that are in the land, that they drink sometimes yoter midai in the Suda Gedola. They drink too much in the drink in their Seudas, but their kavana, hayeta kavana bezeh l'shem shemayim. Their kavana, why are they getting so drunk? Is l'shem shemayim, because in the middle of the mishta of the yayin, they will be mibatchi is like making fun or enjoying or laughing. Tuva umitoch kach, we say divrei Torah ala shochan harbe ma'od v'klafaim le'tshua, that the divrei Torah that comes out of them because they're drinking the physical wine will be on this level. Because of the simcha, you get the revelation of the chacham, and he reveals the secrets of the Torah. So you have the secrets of the Torah being revealed because they're drinking the physical wine. So the physical wine in which you're drinking, that allows the secrets that are in you to come out. Ki barabos simcha, it chazecha will strengthen everything, the power of the seichel that there is in the nefesh. And then yoter muchan, you're far more prepared to reveal the chachma, that the nichnas yayin and yotzer asod. So that's in a physical manner, that somebody who has, again, he's filled his belly with lechem and basar. So then, when you nechas yayin yotzer asod, that through that the mishte of the yayin will come out the divrei hatayra, that's called soid. So when you're giving over all these geschmacka things, when you're drunk, so therefore drinking the physical wine, again, is a ishtalshalos of coming out with the spiritual wine. V'chein, it was by Nadav and Avihu that they were the Kedoshim, even so much more that they were the highest. So that through they drunk too much wine, that they were revealed by them the secrets of the Torah until they got the kalas nefesh. Again, the kalas nefesh is that you're ready to get out of your physical guf. And through there, al pizeh, you have to say that was also the seed of the meat of Rabba R Zeira. because it's through the mitzvah. It was the same type of mitzvah as Nadav and Avihu, as it says that Shachti Hayinu. So the Agravita, he forced him to drink the wine, to drink too much, and he got sick and he got close to death. And it wasn't through the physical wine that caused him to get close to death. It was the kalos nefesh, through the roiv drinking of the wine in the Torah. But nevertheless, it doesn't come out of the minim pshuto that it was that the drinking wine kipshuto, so they were also doing the drinking wine. And also the meat of Rabbi Zeira is kipshuto, that his neshama was separated from his guf. And he didn't just faint. And therefore, Rav Ephraim holds that because of the avoda of Rabba and the of the story, then it's bottle, the chiyuv of getting drunk. So even though he's talking about the secrets of the Torah, even through the secrets of the Torah, that you can come to this level of kalos and nefesh, that is, people shouldn't be doing that. And therefore, according to Rav Ephraim, therefore for him, we're going to cancel the whole Purim party, because we don't want anything bad happening. But if he's over hated, we can explain well that it's not even the relationship to shvichas damim at all, because the mitzvah was kalas nefesh, and by learning the Seudas of the Torah by Rabbi Zeira. And in this we can explain also what the Gemara says, that they got drunk. Ivusum nishkaru lashon rabbim. That is, that Rabba and Rabbi Zeira, both of them got drunk. So it's mashma that the drunkenness of both of them caused the Kam Rava v'Shachte the Rebbe Zeira, because the Kam Rava v'Shachte the Rebbe Zeira came after the Gemara told us that they both got drunk. Because it's not just that the Maisa of Rabba, but also the Misa of Rebbe Zeira was because that Rebbe Zeira got drunk, and he reached the level of drunkenness that comes to Kalas Nefesh from man. But that was done through Rabba. Rabba was the one who brought him there. Kam Rabba, Shakti Rebbe Zeira, as we'll explain later. And that is the idea of the story of Rebbe Zeira, that they did the Suda B'Purim together, and they got drunk. That the drinking of wine of them, K'peshuto, the physical wine, was what the Kavana, like the Shalo is saying, that because you're drinking the wine, you will get the revelation of the wine of the Torah and the secrets of the Torah. And also, and there it says that through they drunken this Suda, it was revealed to them the Seudas and the secrets of the Torah. Ne'elim b'yoter, these are very high levels, until the Tachlis ha'iloi adoloi yada, till they reached the level of adoloi yada, which is on a level of greater than das, beyond your das. Although even both of them got drunk, nevertheless, it's only Rebbe Zeira that had this problem. So Rabbi Zeira, well, even though Rabba was on a high from the secrets of the Torah, only Rabbi Zeira reached the level of kalas nefesh. And the reason for this is because Rabba has the seichel rav yoiter. Rabba had a deeper level of seichel, moichin de gadlus. And therefore he was able to receive that the revelation of the secrets of the Torah. He was able to not leave his body on when he got the revelation of the secrets of the Torah because of his moichin de gadlus. Masha Enkin Rebbe Zeira, he wasn't able to contain this revelation. So here in the brackets, it talks about that we see it in their names. That Rabba means great and Zeira means small. So Rabba was the great person, therefore the great person comes and he's able to stay in his guf, no problem. But Rebbe Zeira, who's small, therefore it's on the level of his ability of his seichel to contain all this. It was smaller, and therefore he left his guf. And therefore, by Rebbe Zeira, we come to Kalas Nefesh Mamish until he separates his neshama from the guf. K'peshuto, he died. Lashenkem Rava, he didn't have that issue. So 6, Al Pizeh, you can say that the explanation of Kam Rabba Shachtele Rebbe Zeira, because it should have said he killed him. Why doesn't it say he killed him? It says in the Gemara, Ein v'sheichet eila u'mashoch. So when it talks in Cholin about shechting, it says that there is what is the shechita? It's mashach that you draw, and again you can't chop when the shechta. You have to draw. You have to pull in one pull. You have to pull maybe you can go forward and back like a saw, but you have to draw the knife. Otherwise, it's not a kosher shechting. So the shechita is a meshicha, and it's a meshicha ha'ala, and you're bringing up the behemoth that the animal itself gets an aliyah from the shechita. Shechina al shechita, we get kosher the behema to eat for that a man can eat it, and through that you raise up the behema from the level of the chai to the state of a medaber. So we have that the animal when it's living is nothing to do with man, and therefore his place in the world is quite low. But then when man eats him and he can use the cow now to raise up his avodas Hashem, then the cow is raised up for the service of man. That we see that we have the tsar b'alechaim that you're killing they're killing the behemoth, but it's mutter because you're raising up the behemoth, because through the shechita you raise up and you draw the animal to a much higher level, and therefore it's not tsar for the animals. And in our matter, the explanation of Rabba Shechta to Rabbi Zeira, that is that Rabba, he drew and he raised up Rabbi Zeira to a higher level that is not in the level of Rabbi Zeira. Through that he revealed the Torah to a level that was higher than Rabbi Zeira. And this he brought to the Kalas Nefesh of Rabbi Zeira, just like we saw by Nadav and Avihu. And the two ideas, that the kavana of the shachti, that is to be aimed and to separate the neshama from the guf mamish, and he didn't just faint like some of the Mefarshim say, and together with this, that the inyan of the shvichas damim, it wasn't shvichas damim chas v'chalila, but adarabba, he's bringing him up high, the kalas nefesh. So again, here in the brackets, you're seeing the diak of the lashon of kam rabba shachti le Rabbi Zeira, because it should have just said that shachat rabba le Rabbi Zeira. See that this is the explanation, that the kima moira al the aliyah of Rabba to the level, to a much higher level. So he got up. So it's there's a Rashi vayakam tukuma hayasalo, that he has this elevation. So that Rabba was drinking the wine and he reached himself to this high level of the secrets of the Torah. So Rabba reached this able, and he was able to stay at that level. And then he gave it over to Rabbi Zeira, because he was trying to bring Rabbi Zeira up to his level. Rabbi Zeira didn't have the kalim in order to hold it, so therefore Rabbi Zeira came out of his kalim, and then he died. This is the besume ad lo yada. The l'chayra, how could Rabba bring Rabbi Zeira to kalas nefesh? The hepech of the kavana, that it has to be the Shabbos Yitzira. So this is the idea of shuv, that the point of the world is that you're here and you are doing mitzvahs. So why would Rabba bring Rabbi Zeira to a state of kalas nefesh? The neshamas has to be in the guf davka, because Rabba says the harich es Rabbi Zeira shehu be'erach de Rabba v'lo yevul kalas nefesh, because Rabba he evaluated Rabbi Zeira and he thought that he'd be able to take it. He didn't. If he knew that Rabbi Zeira wouldn't do it. On a deeper level, you could say like this: that since that Rabba was in the koichab lepoil ba'achi, that he sees to return that achai, that he can give life, that he can return the neshama to the guf. Therefore, lo havezeh bestira lekavana neshamas begufa. So therefore, it's not a stira for Rabbi Zeira, because even though he knows that the neshama is meant to be in the guf, if something happens, the kalas nefesh, then he's able to put him back in his guf, so it'll be okay. So it'll be only rak inyan arai. It's only a temporary measure that Rabbi Zeira will be in the state of Rotzoi, not Shov. It's only for the day of Purim, which is not true tomorrow. So therefore, the next day, Rabba asked for Rachami and he gave him life, because that. Why did he do that? He had this kalas nefesh. He was in this pleasure of God. He did it because that's God's rotzen, to be the neshama in this guf mamish, that nechnas b'shalom v'yotze b'shalom. So that also explains, I don't know if he says it later, but it also explains why it's Tavka today that why did he not just bring him back to life immediately? He waited until the next day to bring him back to life. He bring him back to life the next day because today is a day of Adoloyada, and tomorrow is a day of, no, you have to be in your guf. So he waited. So since Purim is the time of this drawing out the secrets and get drunk, therefore he kept him in that state of kalas and nefesh, and then only the next day he brought him back to life. So 7. Al-Pi, everything we've said. It says also what it says in the end of the story. That the next year he says, let's have the Suda together. And he says, not every year there's going to be a nace. Because not only that, Rabba wasn't pained on that what happened in the Suda Purim before, but Adarabba, he invited Rabbi Zeira to come to the Suda for the next year. To the Kavana, that also this year he'll have exactly the same thing. And we have such an amazing Eloi, he'll raise up until it reaches Kalos Nefesh again. And since that the tachlis of the Kavana is that the neshama is supposed to be in your guf, and then after Purim, I'm going to return and bring you back to life. And then Rabbi Zeira said so it was by Rabbi Zeira to Milos that he has the level of Kalas Nefesh, and then he also has the level of the neshama b'guf. So he has a kind of second idea here. That Rabba could have thought that Rabbi Zeira reached a higher level. So since Rabbi Zeira, so we could do the same thing, but since Rabbi Zeira in the preceding year reached a higher level, then he won't reach the Kalos Nefesh, even if we do the same thing we did last year. That's a split way of how to explain the idea of the end of the story. And through this, Rabbi Zeira said, not all the time is there a miracle, because he wanted and he desired for the Kalos Nefesh, and because that he wanted to have the Suda, the Purim, with Rabba also the next year, because he enjoyed it so much and he had the Kalas Nefesh so much that's what he wanted to do. But even though that since the tachlis of the Kavanah is in the Shama B'guf, that really he wants to stay alive and do mitzvahs. And he was chayshesh, he had a worry that even though they reached the level of Kalas Nefesh, he wouldn't be able to go back into his guf. Who knows if also this time Rabba will be matzliach, and he'll be able to do the nace in order to return the neshama back into the guf, because not every moment is there going to be the miracle, as we saw in the Gemara that that he had to boy rachamim, that he asked for rachamim, that he needed God. It wasn't just Rabbah had this magical power to do these things, but he needed God's help. So chet, hine, the halacha. So note 44 here. He explains the second derech, that if Rabbi Zeira was on a higher level, Rabbi Zeira answered him, "I'm not on the higher level. I'm still in the lower level. So therefore, it's not going to work out because I'm not as high as you think I am." So chet v'hine lahalacha, we say in the Shulchan Aruch, and we don't have to worry about that. The davar bilti ritzoi. So even though we had the Rav Ephraim, who was worried about people's kalos nefesh and running off into Shemayim on Purim, which is so even though we're worried about that, that's we don't post in that way. Shulchan Aruch says you're chayav l'b'sumah b'purei lo yada, and thus it's understood also with the toichen of the ruchni, of the drinking of the wine of ad lo yada. That is, you have to learn in the way of the ba'ahavta tishaga Seudas haTorah at Megilla matzav shel sichros u'bitol mitziyoso. So in the learning of so this is the idea here that tisageh is to be crazy. And it says here Ro Rambam Hilchos Teshuvah. So here Rambam uses the lashon of how should you serve God? You should serve God like a man that's crazy about a woman, and that he's just constantly in this. He has this desire and this, and like when no matter where you are, you're constantly thinking about this woman when you're sitting, when you're standing, when you're at work, when you're at home, when you're always thinking about this woman, and that's the level that you have for this woman. That's how you should have for your relationship with God. So here we're saying that adolo yada is that you're learning in this way of having saga, that you're going completely meshugana through your learning of the Torah until you reach the level of getting drunk and the bittul of your mitzias, and that's how much you're into this stuff. That in Purim you're given the koyach. Now this is an important point here. That on Purim needs to koyach everybody from Israel. This is why. This is what's going on. This is the avodah of Purim. That in Purim, that every Jew is given the koyach, kol chad v'chad b'chol modecha. That you're given all your power. be'erech in a way that you will sheyira delay, that everyone gets his own level to lakayim the drunkenness, that you're drunk, and that is to reach the devekas in the Seudas of the Torah, that reaches the level of mevatel your mitzias. Nivli chashash mevrozu yivolidei and hagashal hatzbudadus upirshus mina oilam. That in a way that it won't lead you to hitzbudadus mina oilam. So that would be the hepech of the kavana of l'sheves your yitzra. I think one of the reasons that we need minyanim, because it's quite easy to just go to the middle, to the ends of the earth and just live on a cliff somewhere and be a good Jew. But because you need minions, therefore you need the community, and therefore you won't have this hisbodedus, that the hisbodedus is not the idea of l'sheves yirsat, that you're dwelling amongst the people and you're with the people. So therefore Purim is this time when you can drink and you can get drunk, and you won't come to that point. And obviously this is if the drinking is a Shem Shemaim, because obviously lots of people just get drunk and just vomit in the corner somewhere. Ela adarabba ali de kiyum chiyuv zeh b'yom kippurim yosef lo chiyus b'avodas Hashem v'shekol shana kula. So again, we saw in a different mamar on Purim Katan that you have each day gives like the holiday gives that koyach into the year for the rest of the year, and therefore when you exercise this on Purim, and therefore you'll get the avodas Hashem in the whole year by Yesias Dira Lo Yisbrach B'Tachtonim, by making a world for God in Tachtonim, and that's the idea of Nechnas B'Shalom V'Yetze B'Shalom. That through this way, so when you're entering into Purim, if your goal for Purim is that I am just going to get so drunk that I'm going to vomit all over myself in a gutter somewhere, so therefore it's not Yetze B'Shalom. If your idea, you Nechnas B'Shalom, that you fill yourself up with bread and wine, bread and meat, and then in the marshal, so therefore you will have the kavana that you want to, that you're given a special gift on Purim, where you can go into the Seudas of Torah, whether it's the physical wine or whether it's the marshal wine, the Seudas of the Torah. You can go into them and not get damaged by them and come out b'shalom, and that's the avodah of Purim.